For privacy and security, have no fear, GrapheneOS is here, specifically for the Google Pixel lineup of devices. Now, the Google Pixel 2 is actually supported, but it is currently in legacy, and there is support for the Google Pixel 3, 3XL, 3A, and 3A XL right now, and now in experimental mode, the Google Pixel 4. We will be setting up the Google Pixel 3A XL in this video and showing you how you can actually install this operating system on your Pixel device. Now, there is a reason that the Pixel devices are specifically chosen for this operating system, and it's because you can actually unlock the bootloader on your Google Pixel device and then relock the bootloader, making it even a more secure and better environment for your privacy and security. There are alternatives too that would be a little bit drastic than installing GrapheneOS on your Android device, but this is probably the best option when it comes to privacy and security and being able to keep your phone fully locked. Now, with that said, thanks for watching another episode of Breaking Elegance, where we help you improve your lifestyle with technology. I'm your host, Angel, and let's talk about this one. Now, in this day and age where our privacy and security is being handled all over the place and given out to all sorts of third parties, you might want to be able to take some of that security and some of that privacy back for yourself. And in order to do that, you would actually need to step away from the norm. And the norm is to actually have either an iPhone or an Android phone running Google Play services. Now, I will warn you, if you're heavily invested into Google Play services, this might not be the best route for you, because basically what you're going to be doing is installing a fresh copy of Android on your phone and removing every single portion of your Google Play services from your phone. So in the beginning, you might actually feel like everything that you knew was stripped away from you. You have no more YouTube application, you have no Gmail, you have no regular Google Play services. Maybe you were using Google Play Music. All of these things are now currently gone from your phone, and your Google Maps. Oh my God, your so sacred Google Maps, they're gone. And they ain't coming back if you're using GrapheneOS, and good riddance, because maybe you want some of that privacy and security, that good stuff for yourself. There are alternatives that I will go over in a future video, and some things I will mention towards the end of this video, so stay tuned for that in order to get you up and running and not completely freaked out. But that's at the end after we go and do the installation. I will do this installation in a couple of steps. First, we're going to get your MacBook ready, or your Mac, whichever one you have, ready so that you can install the actual operating system on your phone. And step two, we're going to get your phone ready to receive that actual application, which is going to be that ROM we're sending over to it. And step three, we're finally going to actually run the scripts to install the operating system on your phone. And finally, we're going to relock the bootloader so that your phone is fully secured after you installed the operating system properly. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. Now we want to go ahead and proceed with step one, and that would be to actually set up your Mac so that you can transfer your operating system to your Pixel device. And you're going to do this by installing ADB. But first, we want to go ahead and grab a copy of the operating system and have it ready on our Mac, so that way we'll have everything set. So you head over to GrapheneOS.org, and then you want to go over to releases. Now here in this table, you're going to see a stable channel. You're going to see a beta channel. Now the beta channel would definitely help to improve the operating system over time, so you could report bugs and they could get a better idea of what's happening with the operating system and resolve things such as bugs. And if you're running something like this phone for everyday daily driving, then maybe you want to stick to the stable channel. But if you go forward to go to the beta channel. So stable channel, I'm going to select the Google Pixel 3a XL. Make sure you select the correct phone for your device right here. So you could go from the Pixel 2, as you can see, all the way to the Pixel 4. Pixel 4 is in experimental and 2 is in legacy. So I'm going to select Pixel 3a XL on the stable channel, and then I'm going to download the Bonito factory image. I already did, as you can see down here. That's in my downloads folder already. Once you have that downloaded, you head over to the Stack Overflow website that will be in the description below, and you want to scroll down to the portion where it says option 1 and copy and paste these strings, these two strings, into your terminal window. So you're going to need to open up terminal on your Mac, copy this whole string, Command C, open terminal, Command V, very simple, hit enter, put in your password, it will start the installation. I could hit any key to abort or return to actually install this. I'm going to hit return, even though I already installed this before, and it's going to start downloading. Once this is done, you're ready to go. You want to go ahead and install the platform tools. In order to install the platform tools, go back to the site, grab your second string, copy it, Command C, back to terminal, Command V, hit enter, and install Android platform tools. Once this is done, you can actually test to see if ADB is working, and type in ADB devices, and if there's a attached device, you will see it listed here. At the moment, I do not have my phone attached, so it's not showing anything in this list, but we know we're ready to go because ADB actually responded. So this is great, and we're ready to go ahead and connect our phone and proceed to the next portion. So in order to proceed after this, you want to go ahead and head over to your downloads folder or wherever you actually downloaded your factory image. This is your factory image here. You'll click on the factory image and it should actually automatically unzip itself on macOS. We have the entire contents here. We want to actually open this folder up. Once we go into this folder, I'll show you a little trick how you can actually change your directory straight into this easily. What you do is go into terminal and type in CD first space. Go back here. You see the little folder. You'll take that folder, drag and drop it into the front of the CD, and we'll put the directory right in front and press enter. And now we are in the correct folder to actually get ready to flash over your actual operating system to your phone. Now that that is ready, let's go ahead and get our Pixel ready so that it can receive this image. So the first thing you're going to want to do is set up your actual phone and get it ready so that you can connect it to your computer. This is fairly simple, but I will guide you through the entire thing because there are a couple of steps that you might be able to take to actually increase your security. So this is going to be really skipping through everything and disabling a couple of things. So let's go ahead and do that. Hit start and then pretty much skip this. You will need to connect to a wireless network, but we will do that in a little bit. I'm going to skip that for now. We're going to go to next. This doesn't really matter right now. We're going to wipe the phone. We're going to disable all of this. Then we're going to hit accept. I'm going to accept here. We're not setting up a passcode because we're going to wipe this phone. Give it a second. This phone's already updated, but I suggest right now the first thing you do is go into your settings, enable Wi-Fi, update the phone to the latest version. And then after you do that, what we want to do is actually go into About Phone, scroll all the way to the bottom, and under build number, just keep on pressing it until it says you are now a developer. And that's pretty much ready. Now, what we want to do is go back, and we're going to go into System. And now in System, there's going to be an Advanced Developer Mode option. So go to Advanced first, then Developer Options. Here in Developer Options, we want to scroll and find OEM unlocking. We need to enable that. Mine is already enabled. And we want to keep scrolling down, and you want to enable USB debugging. That's the next thing you want to enable is USB debugging. Hit OK. And pretty much now our phone is ready to go when it comes to being ready so that it can receive the operating system. Now all we need to do is plug it into our computer through USB, which I have here. The computer should notice the phone. It should display this message. I will actually go ahead and check this off. Once that's checked off, hit allow. And now when you go into your computer and type in ADB devices, this device will show up under ADB devices. All right, so the first thing we're going to want to do now that we have our phone connected is type in ADB devices. This is going to verify that your phone is actually connected to your Mac properly. Then the second thing we're going to want to do is reboot the phone into the bootloader so that we can use fast boot. So you will type in ADB reboot bootloader. And now you will notice that your phone is actually at the fast boot screen. So now what we will do is we will type in fast boot, flashing, unlock. And now we're going to get an option so that we can actually unlock the bootloader. So we will use the volume rocker keys on the phone to actually select unlock. Then we will follow that up by actually pressing the power button to unlock the bootloader. Once this is properly done, you will notice that it says that you have an unlocked device state on your fast boot now. Now we can actually go ahead and proceed to actually flash our ROM to our phone. You want to make sure you're in the correct directory with all your files in it in order to actually get this done properly. In order to do that, make sure that you see the directory up here. As you can see, mine is already there. But you can easily type in CD for change directory, open up the directory with the files, and copy that by just dragging it over into your terminal and press enter, and it will put you into that directory. Pretty simple and a really cool, neat trick to know. Now we want to go ahead and run the actual flash all.sh. If you were running this on a Windows machine, it would be the bat file for that batch, but since this is a Mac, we'll run the flash all.sh. So you can easily just grab that also and bring it over to your terminal and then press enter. And now we're ready to go. Now when we take a look at the actual phone, it is at the fast boot loader on my screen. We're just going to go ahead and hit start and verify that the actual operating system was properly installed before completely locking the bootloader. And as you can see now, it is actually loading GrapheneOS, which is definitely a good sign if you see this splash screen. And presto, now we're ready to set up our spanking new Pixel with GrapheneOS. We'll just follow through and set this thing up, and I'll be right back once we're all loaded up. All right, so in order to actually go ahead and tidy up our operating system install of Graphene, we're going to need to go ahead and lock up that bootloader again. So what we're going to do is actually head over to a phone again. We're going to head over to our phone again. Go back into settings, and in settings we're going to go over to system. We're going to go into advanced, and we're going to notice that our developer options are gone because we just reinstalled the operating system. So we're going to go back into system. We're going to go back into about phone, build number, and enable developer mode again. Now that this is done, we want to go back into system, back into advanced, into developer options, and we're going to go and scroll over to USB debugging, hit OK, and we have that enabled again. Now, back on the computer end of things, we're going to type in ADB devices, make sure that it is running again. If not, we're going to disconnect our phone if it doesn't show up in the list and plug it back in to USB and make sure we give it permission again. Now the phone should be allowed. ADB devices again, make sure that the phone shows up. Boom. Now we want to go ahead and reboot the phone and lock up the bootloader. ADB reboot bootloader. Once we see fast boot, we can type in fast boot flashing lock. And now we're going to use the same volume keys up or down to lock the bootloader and press the power button to verify. Now you will notice that it will show up as locked, and we're going to start the phone again. And there you go. Now this Google Pixel is ready to go with GrapheneOS, and it's fully buttoned up and as private and secure as you would like your phone to be. So, now that I'm going to throw you into the abyss with no direction and you're going to be lost and it's going to be amazing. Okay, now let's not do that. The first thing you're going to want to do after you have your phone set up is install F-Droid so that you can actually install some free and open source software. Second thing you might want to actually do is install the Aurora store, where you can actually download applications that are listed on the Google Play Store. Now, not all of them are going to work because some of them do require Google Play services in order to work properly, especially ones that require to send you notifications. The notifications usually go through Google Play services like those push notifications, and you're not going to get them. I've actually noticed that I've become less stressed over the last month and a half because there's less notifications being thrown in my face throughout the day, and that actually just took a load off of me. It's great to not get all those crazy notifications because they just are a distraction, and in a world full of distractions, you really don't need all those notifications anyway. Now, when it comes to messaging, I switched over to Signal quite a bit ago, and I have been using that. And if you're not, if you like WhatsApp, Signal is basically the same system. You're going to get the same services that you would get from WhatsApp. You can install it on your PC. You can install it on your Mac. They have applications that link just like WhatsApp does. A lot of people might not even know that you can install this thing and link them up to your Signal and WhatsApp, because they're basically the same application. If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken, but I overheard that WhatsApp was built on the same platform as Signal. Signal is open source. It is not linked to Facebook. So if you're using WhatsApp, I would definitely suggest to switch to Signal and let all your friends know to do the same so you could get a little bit more privacy and security for yourself. Now, after you installed all this stuff, like F-Droid and Aurora Store, and looked for some of the applications that you might want, I would definitely suggest installing NewPipe. If you watch anything on YouTube, NewPipe is going to give you a whole new experience, and it's going to be great. Basically, it's going to skip through ads. You don't need to log in. Your privacy is kept because of this. And on top of that, it's an open source application. So you're not installing something that with a closed source. Now, the next one I'm going to actually recommend, if you need a good Maps application. I have not tried Open Maps yet, and I can't really speak for it because I haven't tried it. Maybe I will, and I will make a video for that in the future. If you want me to go ahead and do that, leave a comment in the description below the description. Do it. You know what I mean. Now, besides that, I do have a paid for application, which kind of goes against, hey, don't pay for applications and stick to the open source ones, and it is Sigic. Now, I've been using Sigic for a very long time. It is a GPS maps application, and it's very, very good. You can get a free trial for it and test it out for yourself. I did pay for it, and I had it for quite a while, and I was surprised to find out it doesn't need any Google Play services, and you will get your maps on your phone. And with Sigic, you can basically download, depending which tier of Sigic you got, all the world maps. That's the one that I actually bought. Oh, so if you're outside of the US and you have no cell phone service and you need a GPS and you need to get to places, you basically could download the entire map. Now, a lot of people might say, hey, you could download those maps on the Google Play services, Google Maps. Yes, you can to a certain extent, and it doesn't work right. I personally ran into many situations, especially when I traveled outside of the United States and I went to Canada and found out, hey, I got the maps, but it doesn't properly let me search. I don't, unless I'm on Wi-Fi. It was not a very good experience. With Sigic, you will have none of those problems. It basically downloaded all of that information onto your phone, basically turning your phone into a standalone GPS. And that's something that you might want if you're traveling abroad and want full GPS services. Maybe you rented a car and you want to go around whichever country you're in. So without me further ranting, those are a couple of the things that I will definitely suggest you install in order to get your experience correctly on the Graphene operating system, because it is not for the faint of heart, and sometimes you might feel like jumping off without giving it a full try. I almost did. It was almost like a detox from the standard of living nowadays with smartphones. So first thing, I'll reiterate, install F-Droid. After you install F-Droid, maybe install NewPipe. Find a mapping system, maybe OpenMaps. If you're willing to try Sigic, go ahead and download Sigic. You can download it from the Aurora store, and you can actually use your email to purchase it instead of purchasing it through the actual Google Play Store, which then lets you register the entire full version without needing any Google Play services, which is how I got it to fully work on my phone. It's kind of nice. It's almost like if they thought about not having any Google Play services on your Android device and said, we're going to be able to activate that software without it. And I appreciate that. So with that said, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, anything you would like to say or see in future about GrapheneOS, leave them in the comments below. I will be testing multiple pieces of software applications for the GrapheneOS operating system to make sure they work, and I will give you more updates in the future so that way you can have a better experience without being tracked and Googled up. And before I go, here's one last thing I would like to say. This thing, which is my Samsung Galaxy Gear, actually this is a Gear Active 2, it works fine with this phone. So if you're looking for a tracking, like fitness tracker for yourself that doesn't require any Google Play services, now I can't speak for Tizen and what it's doing in the background. Personally, my thing is to stay away from the Google Play services at the moment until I find out what this thing is doing. But I do like tracking stuff. This Galaxy Active 2 works just fine without any Google Play services. You install the application for it, and I haven't had any faults with it. Now, when it comes to GPS stuff, I haven't really looked into that, but so far, tracking your steps, your workout, and your sleep activity and all that stuff works just fine. I will keep testing it, and I'll make a video in the future specifically about GrapheneOS running your Tizen-based Active 2. This should probably work with the Gear S3 and all of the other Tizen running smartwatches, and that's because they're not running Google Play services. They're running on a completely different operating system. With that said, if you have any more questions, like I said before, leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really does help the channel. And like always, you guys have a great one.